meeting with you to give you hard evidence of corruption in your Deputy Attorney General, John Skidmore. A grand juror, former grand juror, is here today that Mr. Skidmore falsified what occurred in his grand jury to Mr. Machicki was there as a senator, and our Speaker of the House, Mike Chenault, was there, and his statements are false or a lie or whatever you want to call them to justify John Skidmore walked in and stopped a sitting grand juror from talking to his fellow grand jurors about crimes. And our statutes in this state say an individual grand juror who has no reason or who knows or has reason to believe a crime has been committed shall inform his fellow grand jurors who shall investigate.
Okay, David, please submit this.
I have how many times?
Have you submitted it through this process? David, look, I'm telling you right now, David, if you submit that claim,
That's been submitted.
I will push it to a grand jury.
You go online and you submit it.
Hey,
Okay,
guys,
I'll-
we're not gonna do
And
this.
So
And I
what I
wanted
want
to-
to say, David, is this. If you submit that complaint and the hard evidence that you have as the gatekeeper, and again, I don't want to be the gatekeeper. Let me make that clear. I don't think I have any business being the gatekeeper. But as the gatekeeper, I will push that to an independent prosecutor for investigation by a grand jury. You have my word on that, David. And it'll be public that I did or did not do it, because I'll put it right on the website that it went to an investigative grand jury.
Why do you
And you know what?
do that? You already know the information.
Yeah, why don't you tell
Yeah, you do it.
David, do you have any more questions?
Well, I just want to answer one of those things. He asked where they get independent counsel. I'll tell you what happened in the Sheffield case. Huge case. Governor going down, I mean, they wanted to charge him with perjury, and the independent prosecutor says, we don't know whether we can do that with a sitting governor. Their counsel came from Washington, D.C., and both of the opposing attorneys were former Watergate attorneys. That's what should have happened. So, thanks.
I'm gonna call folks as they signed up in order, if you don't mind, if that's okay. Mr. Hartring, you're next.
I thought we were gonna do comments on the video.
I won't start your 3 minutes until after you start talking.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the record, Jim Harpering, Waterfront Way, Honey River Road. I've been following this now for this entire process for going on probably 15 years. And have tried to stay at the arm's length from it, even with David living as a neighbor down the road. The issue here, though, is one of improprieties alleged, improprieties proven in the system itself. And after talking to David again today, I was on the talk show with Bob Bird, the very host this Tara, and this is the second time. The first one was on the 16th of July when you released the press release. And we went line by line, and I gave my opinion on each one. We reiterated those lines today, and with bending this evening's meeting. After looking at this and very diligently looking at it, looking at other states in my old life, and I'm retired now, and just kind of feeble. But the issue here is I believe that there's a meeting, and I talked to David, and with his permission, I'll go down this route. This is as late as 10 hours ago, that there's a possibility with your projected concept of how it to work, and my understanding of how I would see the ideal world work, that maybe we can come to a meeting of minds and everybody can come out, not a winner or a loser, but with a system that works. And that's all I'm gonna say. And that would consider, and I know you're gonna go fall out of your chair, so brace yourself. And this would be through a consent decree. And if we have a consent decree where we are preceded by an MOU, MOA with the parties involved. So everybody understands what the goal is, and the consent decree then would allow for a finding of how the system can be improved that is totally independent. And I go back to where it's been successful: Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, Louisiana, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I mean, I can go case by case by case and spend the next 6 hours in here and articulate it. But if you would consider that, I think I can really put a package together And again, I bless this with David. David, you agree that,
It's a potential solution.
and,
A consent decree governed by the federal government.
for a time element specific to the agreement that the parties agreed are concerned. And it's made public. It isn't something that we're gonna hokey pokey around with this thing. There's a site, the site can be monitored, the site can be updated, and the progress made by that concept. And I've got a lot of other notes, but after David's excellent presentation here, I'm just gonna let it go. And, unless there's questions, I'll return to my seat.
No, I really appreciate that, and I just want to comment just briefly on that. Yeah, if the federal government is, or federal prosecutors or U.S. Attorney's Office, I think there's easier ways to solve this, and I think it's through our legislature. And I think, and I think there's, so I've gone around and around, like, do we impanel a commission to do this? Do we put like 5 people on a commission that look at these things? I just not, in the way the current rules are, it's almost an unworkable solution. One of the things that could happen is that report. So one of the reasons I wanted to make sure we publish the process is because I want people to be able to challenge that process. Now, it's sort of a circular solution, right? How do you challenge that process? Well, you sue me in the courts, right? But the courts came up with the rules. But another solution is challenge me in an investigative grand jury on that process and have a report from an investigative grand jury. A grand jury investigated to look at the issues, what the Constitution requires, whether we're meeting the constitutional requirements of that, whether the court is meeting the constitutional requirements of that, and then they can push out a public report, right?
Back with one question to your response there. The 3 elements that constitute a grand jury's necessity to meet don't meet those with, we're gonna investigate that element of it. And again, I go back, to solve to resolve this, where everybody can believe in the process. And that's why I can talk to David for over 45 minutes today on it. And I think we really can do it.
Yeah,
And
and
again,
I think this is a starting place, right? This is a place that we can start.
At
We
least
can have
the
that
dialogue-
discussions.
At least the dialogue's there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.